there's a small formula of the market demand as well as the individual demand, okay, which states the dx. Uh, do you have that? The,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, if you could just read out, Melissa.
The DX one.
Yeah.
For individual demand,
Yes, yes, for the individual demand. The dx is individual demand and the dm is the market demand. Okay, the m and x states that.
DX is equals to F bracket PX P1 Y T E bracket close
Px,
is equal to F bracket PX P1 Y T E
y, t and
E E.
okay. Okay, do we, Kanchan, can you please continue reading from the text what that means? Where dx is equal to demand of a commodity. X always stands for the demand of the commodity. Next,
Px is equal to price of commodity X.
okay,
P is equal to
P stands for the price of the commodity, Px. Okay, next.
Y is equal to income of the consumer.
Okay,
T is equal to tastes and preferences.
SPR as well.
No,
Okay, then the take that
P.
also. There's only P, price of other related goods. Actually, that is supposed to be PR, price of other related goods. Okay, let's take it as P only. Fine. Okay, continue.
E is equal to expectation of future prices.
Okay, so we all are familiar with all these. Just remember this formula. It doesn't come in your exams, but it's quite easier enough when you understand the other factors. For lesson 2 and 3, you'll require this. Okay, so we all know what stands for Y then, Ali.
Yes, ma'am.
Y stands for
My distribution of income.
no,
Income
Y,
of the consumer.
income of the consumer. Okay, and T stands for Kanchan.
Tastes and preferences.
Very good. And E stands for Melissa.
expectation of future prices.
Okay, in the last class we had discussed what means expectation of future goals. What is an example that we can give? Any example? Kanchan, expectation of future goals. This shows that you're not revising. Ali, expectation of future goals.
Um, I don't know, ma'am.
Melissa, can you try, please?
Does it mean that the consumers expect the price not to rise?
Yes, that the consumer always expects that no matter how much ever long it takes, the price of my commodity should never rise. Okay, it's like I will always feel, don't you think, as a consumer, you always feel that if I have a particular taste of a shampoo that I prefer, which suits me, which suits my hair, so that price shouldn't rise ever in future. It should remain only for 500 and it should never increase in future, correct? But does that happen in the market?
No.
No, as and when the demand increases for that product, the price also increases. Okay, so that means expectation of future prices, that I expect that in near future also, no matter how long it takes, the price of my commodity should not increase. Children, this is very easy. Please make sure that you are not getting too worked up with it. How difficult is it to understand the income? Definitely the income of a consumer affects the demand of a commodity. Yes.
Yes.
If my income is high, I will go and buy or purchase products which are of high value, luxury products. If my income is low, again I will go for inferior goods. The same way my taste and preference also affects the demand, the commodity, correct? If I have a particular taste or preference of a particular juice or a a particular soap that I use. So again, that is going to affect the demand of that commodity. The same goes with the what effect? Expectations of near future, that I do not expect the price of my commodity, a particular taste or preference that I have, should not increase in future. Okay, the same way we have market demand function. Ali, please read
Ma'am, what?
the formula in which it is expressed. MD stands for market demand and X stands for the commodity. Okay, so the function F bracket
P1 Y T E N Y G,
Ali, please read properly. Where MD is equal to market demand for the commodity X,
which is
then
equal to F. Ma'am, what is F?
F is the function.
Function, then bracket
Read the line
price
below
of the
it.
commodity.
Yes, price of the commodity. Read from there.
Then PR is equals to price of other related goods. Y is equals to income of the consumer. T is equals to the taste and preferences. E is equals to the expectation of future prices. N is equals to population, and Y D is equals to distribution of income, and G is equals to government policies.
G is equal to government policy. If you remember, even in the market demand, we had done all these points. Okay, N stands for population. How does population affect the market demand? We had discussed this last class.
Population increases, demand increases.
Demand also increases. If I have a shop, a grocery shop in a place or a area which has very less population, okay, very scarce population, and there are very less people who are staying over there, which means less population, automatically my demand of every commodity, okay, in my grocery shop, automatically the demand for every commodity, will it rise or will it fall if the population is less?
Fall,
It will
fall.
It will fall. Sarva, please. Just a minute, children. Atharva, please join in. Is he in? No. Why is Atharva getting confused with the class? He's saying it's a Hindi class now, whereas it states that Hindi is on 8th. Atharva, Hindi is on 8. Today is the 7th. Please join in from the link which I have sent. Okay, we continue with our market demand. Okay, population. Are we clear with the population concept? Automatically the demand for the commodity will fall. Okay, no matter what it is, I need a good population where automatically my demand for every commodity will keep on rising. What is the next factor after population? What is the next factor?
Distribution of income.
Distribution of
YT.
income. Who distributes this income? What do they mean by saying distribution of income? Who's distributing income? If I am working somewhere and if I have an income, I have a salary, I have a wage, who is distributing this wage to me?
Your employer.
My,
Employer.
my employer, correct? So the government, basically, we can just take for an example, is the one who's distributing the income. Okay, so if there is fair distribution of income, if there is equal distribution of income, then only what can happen? Demand of every particular commodity in the market will rise. Why? Because everybody then collectively will be able to purchase the same thing, which, like, there won't be a gap between the rich and the poor. Okay, after distribution of income lies the last factor, which is the
Government policy.
government policy. What are the government policies?
Taxes and
Taxes. Okay, in what terms are these taxes taken? Any idea? What type of taxes do our parents pay? Any idea?
Income tax,
Income tax, okay, and
GST.
GST. Okay, these are basically two examples of the two type of taxes that you will be studying in future. That is the direct taxes and indirect taxes. So this is the way in which the government collects money in terms of taxes, that is direct and indirect taxes. Okay, so we are done with the determinants of individual demand and market demand. We now come to the law of demand. Okay, we were done with the law of demand. Who will state the law of demand for me quickly? Don't look into your books. Ali, law of demand.
Law of demand. Hmm. Ma'am, I don't know.
Very good, Ali. Even staying at home, you're saying, I don't know. Melissa, law of demand.
uh, there's something of price and quantity. That's all I remember.
Can I read from the book?
Atharva,
Yes.
good afternoon. It's not a yes.
Good afternoon. Yes, good morning, ma'am. Afternoon.
And what's wrong with you? Can't we read the messages clearly?
Ma'am, no, it's the 7th today, though.
No, the invite for Hindi is 8th April.
It's 8th. 1 second. I don't know what I read.
Atharva, I think you need another pair of glasses.
I think so. Wait,
Please be a little attentive. I'm going to
yes,
disturb
I
the
need a
entire
new pair
class.
of glasses.
And I need to see you.
What?
Switch on your camera. I need to see you. Nobody is going to go offline with
It's
the
not
camera.
on?
No.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's a clear statement from principal ma'am that nobody is supposed to go offline. Otherwise, we can have recorded lectures. We need to have a one-on-one conversation with all.
No, I
So,
didn't know this thing wasn't on.
yes. Yes, law of demand. Quickly. Atharva, what do you remember for the law of demand that we did in the last class? What is the law
We
of
did the
demand?
law of demand. I don't know. The price given for a specific product at a certain thing. Okay.
No, there was a
That's
kind
it.
of relation that I explained. What kind of relation is there
Oh yeah, it's directly
Inverse.
proportional
between
to
the
the
price and
price is
quantity?
directly proportional to the demand, or that, yes.
Inverse
Yes.
relation.
Inverse relation. Very good, Kanchan. Why inverse relation?
Ma'am, the price decreases, the
Price of a commodity.
demand increases.
You stated that with the price of a commodity
Decreases, the demand increases.
okay, and vice versa. Okay, if the price increases, the demand of the commodity decreases. Okay, so we have to start with the assumptions. Can we come up to the assumptions quickly?
Ma'am, we did it.
We did the assumptions. I want to quickly recap.
Oh.
Yes.
Quickly. What are the
Taste and
assumptions?
preferences remain the same. The price of the product remains constant, and I know that's all.
Okay, taste and preference, price should be same, and
I
No
don't know
change
the
in
third
the
one.
income.
income
That is
effect
fine.
again. What is the income effect stated in terms of the individual demand that we just did? How is the income stated? Ali, I had asked you only the same question.
What?
The function of income, how is it stated in terms of an individual or a market demand? Income.
Ma'am, it's constant.
Ali, you're not paying attention. Melissa, quickly answer this.
Ma'am,
I.
Why?
oh, in terms of that shit.
Yes, Ali, please pay attention. These are terms in which way, twist and turn, you will be asked questions for your boards. Okay? And population is stated in?
Ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes, you
N.
are.
Population is stated as?
N.
N.
Ma'am, is that formula like important or it's just given for the?
No, it's important. I told you those two formulas, derivations are important. Please mark them as important as
The
from your
formula.
board point of view.
Where's the formula though? Oh, okay. No.
Okay, fine.
I found it.
Okay, quickly come to the causes of operations of law of demand. That is, again, a very important question. There is a question framed in the head or title itself that, or why does a demand curve slope downwards to the right? Okay, whenever you are doing these curves, please make sure that you're using, your hands to understand that why it is coming down to the right or why it is shifting upwards to the left. Then only you will understand these demand curves. Okay, the very first point it states is law of diminishing marginal utility. Are you all able to hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, something now which is very important, you have to remember marginal utility for your life. I'm giving you a very, very simple example. Please remember this. I have done this, with my previous 10 standards also, and, with just with a glint, like, they're able to answer what is law of diminishing marginal utility. What do you understand by utility? What
By
means
what?
utility? Utility. What means utility?
Usefulness or useful things, which can be used productively, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, which can be used. Okay, used for what? To
For
satisfy.
convenience, or oh,
Okay, to satisfy an individual's wants. Okay, now here, what states law of diminishing marginal utility? Okay, what do you understand by diminishing? What means diminishing?
Decreasing.
yes.
Decreasing. Okay, now I'll just give you a small example, and I want it to be very interactive. Now suppose I'm fasting. Okay,
I am.
and I am fasting. Okay, I've kept a
Okay.
fast. Okay, which is for 17 hours long. And obviously, at the end of the day, when I am sitting to open my fast, okay, I'm very hungry. Agreed? We are not supposed to have, eat or drink anything. And I'm very hungry when I'm opening my fast. Now the time has come for me to open my fast. Is everybody able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
now I don't generally open my fast with a pizza, but I'm just giving you an example that there is a pizza in front of me, okay, which has 8 slices. Okay, it's a huge one. It's a largo pizza, and there are 8 slices. Okay. Now, when I want to open my fast, I've had the first slice. What do you think will be that first slice for me?
You need, I guess.
No, I didn't understand.
No, you'll need that first slice because you're hungry. I don't know about the other ones though.
Okay, I'm very hungry. Obviously, I fasted for 17 hours. The very first slice is going to be like heaven for me.
Okay,
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have it very fast. Okay. What will be the second slice for me?
slower. You'll eat it a little slower than the other one.
I will still continue eating it,
Yes.
okay? Because I'm still hungry, okay? I've been hungry for 17 hours. One slice or two slices down. Now the third slice. What will happen to the third slice?
It'll go a little slower, or you'll.
Can I still have the third slice? I'm
Yes.
not that hungry. I'm not that hungry. My hunger has, like, quenched a little bit. My thirst, my hunger has been quenched a little bit. What will happen to the third slice?
Take
Can
half of it.
I can still eat it?
Yes. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll still eat the third slice. What about the fourth slice?
You can eat it.
Can I still eat
You
it?
won't.
Now I'm not hungry. I can, like, I have managed myself. Now I'm not hungry. What will happen to the fourth slice?
You won't eat it. Yes. Rest of it.
Maybe I can have half of it. Correct? What about the fifth slice?
You save it for later.
Okay, I'll keep it for later. Will I have it? No. Okay, I have left in my fourth slice itself. So now again the sixth slice, the seventh slice, and the eighth slice are not touched. They are not used at all. Okay, so now if you see what happens from the first slice, what is happening from the first slice to the fourth slice?
Your hunger is decreasing.
Yeah.
It is decreasing. Yes, from the first to the second, I was hungry. Again till the third, I wasn't that hungry, but manageable to eat the third slice. But when I came to my fourth slice, what happened was I was full. Okay, I was done with my food. So what I did was I left it halfway. For the fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, they're all waste. Okay, so this is called as law of diminishing marginal utility, where as and when I consume or I keep on consuming my commodity, what happens to it? Its value or its demand automatically diminishes. Okay, just refer to your text, come to your text. This is one of the most important ones which you have to remember. Law of diminishing marginal utility states that when an additional unit, okay, additional unit is important where you have to mention this, of a commodity is consumed, the marginal utility derived from it is declining. Why? Because of the reason that the earlier units, okay, that the first slice, second slice, and my third slice that I had, the earlier units of consumption have partly satisfied our wants. Correct? My first slice, my second slice, what had happened? My third, they had partly satisfied my hunger. Okay, even if I had to stop at my second slice and consume something else or take a tea or coffee or something. So don't you think I wouldn't have gone for the third slice also? Okay, why? Because already my first and second unit had satisfied my hunger.
Yeah.
Okay, you can give this example. Okay, another example if I get from you all, can I have an example? Okay, what kind of relation is this? A direct relation or an inverse relation?
Inverse.
Course.
No,
Okay,
it's direct.
Direct.
it's
Yeah, it's
direct
direct.
relation. How?
How
Yes.
it's inverse? How it's inverse?
It's inverse. How can you say it's direct
How?
relation?
But how is it
As and
inverse?
when my
That's
consumption is increasing, okay, as and when I'm consuming, it's increasing. What is happening to the demand is decreasing.
demand goes down.
Yes, the more I'm trying to
Yeah.
eat, I'm getting full, my hunger is getting quenched. So what is happening?
No.
I'm not able to eat, but I want to eat. Okay, so it has an inverse relation. Okay, is this clear? Law of diminishing marginal utility.
Yes.
Okay, let's come to the second point. What is the second one?
What?
What is the second point? Quickly, Atharva.
Income effect. Should I read the whole thing?
No,
Okay.
no, no. We've already discussed the income effect. What is the income effect?
Increasing income results in increased consumption or demand. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay. Okay. So the income is stated as Y. Okay.
Yes.
As and when my income is going to get stable, like increasing or decreasing, what will happen to the demand of the commodity that I have to consume? What will happen
You buy more of it.
in terms of goods and services? What will happen to my consumption of commodity? It
You'll
might,
buy
yeah, please.
better.
I'll buy better products.
Yes.
Yes, if I have a
Mm-hmm.
good and a stable income after having savings with me, I will still keep on buying better products. Okay. Now let's come to the substitution effect. Okay. What do you understand by substitution?
Substitution, changing
Replace.
something, replacing something.
Yeah.
Okay, substituting or replacing with another commodity or a product. Okay. In terms of a substitution effect, Melissa, please read the substitution effect, the first two lines.
Substitution effect here means the substitution of a cheaper good for a relatively costlier one.
Okay, continue reading.
When a price of a commodity increases while prices of other substitute goods remain unchanged, consumers would like to substitute a costlier commodity with a cheaper commodity.
Okay,
For
do you
example,
agree? Yeah, okay, continue. For example,
if price of commodity, example Coke, increases with no change in price of its substitute, example Pepsi, then Pepsi will become relatively cheaper.
okay, see, now whenever we are going to buy any particular beverage, now since they've given an example of a beverage, so whenever we are going to buy a particular beverage, it does happen sometimes or many a times it does happen, let's not take that as important, that we do go for a product which is cheaper. Does that mean that you don't have money?
No,
No. Okay, when I am with my friend and it's just that I have only 40 rupees left with me. Now even I need, something like a soft drink or something to quench my thirst, and even my friend needs it. So what would I do? Out of that 40, what would I do?
You'd buy two
but
bottles of Pepsi. I think they come with 20. I don't know.
Okay, absolutely fair. What was in my mind, I'll buy two bottles of Pepsi or Slice or something like that, which is again to my budget, which might come under 20 rupees for both of us. Again, now when you have the other effects, okay, like the individual demand, you had the other effects. What would be the other effects? Taste and preference.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But they all taste the
Again,
same. Yeah.
okay, taste and preference. Other than that would be my income effect. Okay, if I
yes,
have
Mm-hmm.
more money, I would never ever substitute it with a cheaper one. No matter, fine, if she's my friend, I would ask her to take whatever she wants and I would buy whatever I would want. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this means the substitution effect, where you are actually substituting your required commodity with something cheaper, but the other things being relatively not affected. That is my income effect and my taste and preference. Okay. Now, one example I have over here in my references, a rise in the price of a commodity, say coffee. Okay, a rise in coffee also means that price of a
What?
substitute. Okay, in place of coffee, what would be the substitute is tea. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
has fallen in relation to that of coffee, even though the price of tea remains unchanged. Okay, as a result, what would it be? People would buy more of tea and they would buy less of coffee. Okay, clear enough the substitution effect also?
Yes.
Okay,
Ma'am.
okay, fine. So we are done with this concept also. Exceptions of the law. We have the next one. No, you still have the change in the number of buyers. Again, change in the number of buyers, you can write in brackets over there as population. You can write population over there. So it becomes easier for you to understand. Why are we stating population?
Ma'am, your voice is breaking up and stuff.
Okay, now can you hear me?
No, it's a little.
Now is that fine?
No.
Okay. Change in the number of buyers, they're trying to say when the price of a good falls, many new buyers start demanding the good which they were not able to buy earlier. Why they were not able to buy earlier?
Income, or
Right.
maybe because of the demand increasing, the price fell or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, one could be income and again a high price of the commodity that I could not afford. Now since I have a good salary, so even if the price is high, I can go and buy it. Okay.
Mhm.
So besides new buyers, old consumers of the commodity also start purchasing more quantity of the product. What had happened is, since even I had earlier also I had many buyers for this commodity, due to the income effect of certain people who have an increase in their income, have also started buying this particular commodity. Supposing say the low fat butter that you get, okay, or peanut butter. Okay, it's not that everybody goes and buys it, and of course it's a little expensive, but as and when my salary increases or I have a good income, so even I go and opt for something of that sort. Okay. Our next point is different uses. What kind of different uses are they trying to term it with? That is, the commodity has several uses to it. Okay, so since we had done the different kind of uses, the demands. Okay, so if you remember the types of demands, what are the types of demands?
This one
Joint
is
joint
Composite.
demand, there were 5 demands. Quickly, joint demand,
Joint.
derived,
Composite.
very good.
derived,
Composite, derived,
competitive,
And
Direct.
competitive.
competitive, and
Direct.
direct.
direct demand. Very good. Okay, so when you have different uses over here, a commodity has, which means it has several uses to it. Okay, for example, that they have given earlier also, and now also they're giving the same example as milk. Okay, whether you are preparing curd, whether you're preparing paneer, whether you're preparing sweets. Okay, the basic thing you require to prepare all these things is what?
Milk.
Milk. Okay, without milk you cannot prepare all these commodities. So likewise, if the price of such a commodity, that is milk, increases, what will happen to the consumption of all these goods, that is paneer? What will happen to the consumption of sweets? What will happen to the consumption of you call the ghee? Okay, the ghee that you use, the pure ghee. Yes. So what will happen to the price of these commodities if the price of milk increases?
Demand will decrease.
The demand will decrease. Why? Because the price of these commodities will also increase. Okay, automatically when you're going to buy a sweet, okay, what will happen that he'll say ma'am, it is for 200 rupees, and you're like, Arey bhaiya, I had taken for 150, and suddenly you're selling it for 200, supposing the kaju katli, I'm just giving an example, and he'll be like, Arey nahi madam, doodh ka bhav 4 rupees extra ho gaya hai. Have you ever heard these conversations?
Yeah.
Yes. So whenever such things happen, so the basic thing is that when milk, the price of milk is increasing, automatically the substitute effects or the other uses to which milk has been put in, the price of equivalent other commodities will also rise. Okay, if price of such a commodity, supposing milk, increases, restricted only to most important uses, that is baby food, etc., what will happen as a result? Demand for milk will also fall. Okay, but since milk is a basic necessity, what can we do? Can we decrease the consumption of milk? Can we decrease the consumption of milk? No. So what would happen? What would we opt for? If I am buying a milk which is for 60 rupees, I will automatically shift to a substitute milk. I will go for cow milk again, which might be a little cheaper, which would come around for some 44 or 48 rupees. Okay, different uses is clear.
Yes, ma'am.